Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, my review of it actually went up on Eurogamer this week, which was cool. It's a really, I'll explain it again in case you missed it last time. It's a combination of a 2D platformer and this kind of classic point-and-click adventure in the LucasArts Tim Schafer mold. But the hook is the guy that you play called Ray. He gets hit on the head with some sort of foreign device at the beginning. He's a hard hat tester anyway. Takes his hat off, gets hit in the head with the thing, wakes up in hospital with a giant pink spaghetti hand growing out of his head. This can do two things. First thing it can do, it can grab pushpins in the world. Why are there pushpins in the world? Because everything's made out of paper. Why? Don't know. Doesn't explain it. Second thing the hand can do is reach into people's minds and read their minds. That's the best thing about the hand. All of this is voiced, all of it's very well written, all of it's funny, and the game then asks you to solve classic point-and-click type verb puzzles by interacting with the characters, getting quite often when you read their minds, something they've been thinking about will appear above them as a sticker. You can use those stickers on other characters to solve puzzles, and then it all comes together over the space of one level, and everything kind of rolls together, and then you solve it. It's in the classic adventure game point-and-click style. I really liked it. It's very genuinely funny, very clever. I love the writing. It's kind of introspective, a lot of stuff about psychotherapy and this stuff where you're literally walking through your own mind, and all done in a kind of sarcastic. It's written by a guy who writes the Adventure Time comics, and it's similar. It's like that, but without the sugar rush, just the same kind of daft sarcasm as that show. And yeah, I mean, it could have been a classic, I think, but my only problem with it, there are sections. Every level's a kind of panoramic platform section, I guess you could call it, where you have a map of the area, but you move from left to right, and you can go anywhere within that level at any time. But sections are blocked off because you're being chased by these agents, these big lunking agents, and it will turn into these kind of platform sections where you have to evade them, basically. And quite often that involves sort of letting them see you. They run underneath, you jump over the platform above, and then another one will see you, and you kind of escape below. Those are basically a nightmare. There are things that you can read the agents' minds, and occasionally send them to sleep or slap your own face onto another agent, and they think you're him. Well, that's not funny, and it's clever, but eventually I spent ages just dying and dying and dying and dying and dying on those sections over and over again as they get harder towards the end of the game, and it's just every time one turned up, which was too much, just dreading it. I understand why they had to put some threat into the game, so it wasn't, because otherwise it would just be really easy. It's much easier than traditional point and clicks because it cuts down all those games. You could click on everything and try everything, whereas this cuts that down, rightly so. But yeah, they just the whole agents thing just got way too irritating way too quickly. They didn't have enough ideas involved in it, and it eventually just kind of was to the game's detriment. But I still think it's it's a real kind of potentially cult classic, I'd say.
Yeah, I saw your review and it got 7, and there were some people in the comments saying, "Oh yeah, you know, 7's a good score," and that's the kind of number I'd throw at it as well. But at the same time, there are going to be people who might, it's going to be a 9 for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I think one of the best things about it is that the first sort of half of it is satisfyingly easy. The puzzles, like kids could play this comfortably, because the way the puzzles work is that you kind of solve them all at once, and that's not unpleasant. It's kind of like dominoes falling, because once you find one thing and then you bang, 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 and all the puzzles are solved in one go. But it is pleasurable. It's just not particularly taxing, but that's fine. I mean, I think it's a very clever way to make it quite accessible. I think the Adventure Time, obviously there's a connection, but I felt the same way about the humour as I do about the humour in Adventure Time, which is that it's split down the middle 50-50 between me finding it really, really, really amusing and finding it quite annoying.
Right.
And I think that came through. I mean, when you were reading people's minds, some of the stuff you heard, I mean, I was laughing aloud. And so it's a shame that it's not 100%, obviously, but it never could be. But that is so much more valuable than most games, even humorous games, where it's 100% like vaguely amusing. Yeah, it's completely linear, invisible walls everywhere and stuff, but it is all about the style and the humour.
Yeah.
And I think if you're tuned into it, you will think very, very highly of it. I enjoyed it. I mean, it's a fucking fun game.
Yeah, there's something about it which is just not grabbing people though, which is strange because nobody's really talking about it. It's been reviewed very well. I mean, it got about 9.5, I think, on Destructoid, and it's got some really great scores. I still think 7 for me is a good score, but I think I checked the review today and it had like 13 comments on it or something, which is pretty low for anything on Eurogamer. So it's just not. I don't know. People just something about it. I don't know what it is. Like, I think I started my review saying that this looks like something that you've done a million times before, but trust me, it really isn't. But what can you do?
Yeah.
But I would recommend it.
I'd recommend it too. I think maybe it's just the time of year.
Oh, it's terrible time for it to come out.
And also, I do think that a lot of exclusive PlayStation stuff is now going to be possibly viewed. If it's not like 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, people are just going to think it will be on PS Plus at some point.
Yeah, there's that
that's
as well.
one of the downsides of that service, I think. But I like the way it's bite-sized. I've played on PS3, but it's kind of split into very, very palatable bite-sized chunks, so it'll work on the Vita as well. And the trophies are really nice. You go and do other stuff. It's completely unrelated to the story. It's just like a checklist of other stuff if you want to have fun in the game. I recommend it. I think if you like the look of it, it's a very real chance you'll absolutely love it.
Some great characters in it as well. Some cracking characters. There's a level in an insane asylum, which is just the whole level is just fantastic. It's brilliant.
Yeah, there are genuine laughs in it. I liked it.